Hey guys, what's going on? We have got a new knife, and it is in this box right here. Brand new from Microtech. We're going to be taking a look today at the Combat Troodon Gen 3 Combat Troodon. So I thought the old Combat Troodon was cool, but there were some things about it that I didn't love. I didn't really love the styling. I didn't love the ribbing on the front. It was a cool knife. It has been carried by a bunch of people, been loved by a bunch of people, and I am not taking away from that at all. I think it's great. I don't have one, but I've handled a few of them, and there's a chance that I may get one in the future. But it just didn't get me as excited as this new. When I saw the Gen 3 was coming out, I looked at it and thought, yeah, I gotta have one of those. And now I do. So without further ado, let's open up the box and take a look at this thing. Papers, there's a sticker in there. I'm sure there's a sticker in there. I haven't checked, but I think there's a sticker in there. There usually is. Caution, sharp edge, I would hope so. And here it is in all of its glory. The new Combat Troodon. Go ahead and pop this thing open, take a look. Stonewash blade. And it is sharp, so that was an accurate statement on the little yellow sticker there. Okay, couple things to note about this knife right off the bat before we get into, well, you know what, we're just gonna go ahead and get into it. You'll notice something different here that really separates this from the pack as far as Microtech stuff goes. The hardware. It is not the, I don't see any triangles. It is not proprietary hardware. We have got Torx. We've got 4 of them here, and we got this one on the back for the pocket clip. The pocket clip, by the way, which is ambidextrous. So that's nice. It is also, let's see if I can get this to focus. It is also milled titanium. I believe it's titanium. Milled, and it's got that tungsten carbide ball bearing, which is just really, really cool. I really like that feature. If you look just north of the pocket clip, you see the glass breaker. Whoops, just stabbed my box there. You see the glass breaker, which, if it'll focus, you'll notice is very low profile, which reminds me kind of the, reminds me a little of the SOCOM Elite with that super low profile glass breaker. You almost wouldn't see it if you weren't looking for it. And that is a really cool feature. I like having a glass breaker, but I don't like having a giant thing sticking out of my pocket that's gonna poke me in the hand. So that's a nice feature. And the blade, of course, is great. You get those fun little holes in the blade. I think it would have been cool if they had fluted this like they did on the Scarab 2 and a couple other models. I know some of the newer Combat Troodons also have the fluting on the barrel, not barrel, on the blade, but this one doesn't. I don't know if any of the Gen 3s do yet. I'm sure they will at some point. This obviously is the combo edge, so full serrated on top, plain edge on the bottom, best of both worlds. A lot of cutting surface there, and those teeth look dangerous. Some good looking serrations. yeah, so let's take a look. And of course the blade is M390 MK, which you know and love from the Stitch, the MSI, and now of course all of this Gen 3 stuff that they've got coming out is all going to be in that M390 MK, which is a really, really good steel. I've used it quite a bit, not on this knife obviously, but I have had experience using that M390 MK, and it is super tough, super corrosion resistant. Let's take a look at this hardware here and see what we're working with. I think that we are gonna be, yep, so we've got 4 T8s on the front of the handle, and then this deal on the back here I think is going to be, I don't know exactly what that is. It's, I don't know, T25, T30. I'd have to get my other tools, which I'm not going to do because I'm filming right now. But you got a big old Torx there on the back. Important thing here is that you can take this knife apart. If you need to service it, if you, I don't know why you want to take your knife apart. There's a couple different reasons you would, and you can now. You can absolutely take this knife apart, which is really nice. Without, you could take the other ones apart, but you'd have to get the special hardware. Looking at the switch. Oh, what is that? What is going on in here? Oh, it's the crud cutter. It's supposed to keep debris out of the way so that when you're operating the switch, even if it gets a little grimed up, you're still going to have that nice smooth contact surface, metal on metal, or metal on anodized metal. Either way, it's supposed to keep your contact surface nice and clean, which I assume it probably does. But again, just got this knife, so not going to be able to attest to how well that works. The action, by the way, is absolutely incredible. It is a smoother action than any other Microtech that I've had or any other Microtech that I have handled. That is just an incredibly smooth action. It feels a lot like a Guardian Tactical. The Guardian Tactical, Recon 35, Recon 40, if you're familiar with those, has always had a better action than any Microtech. But this one right here really gives it a run for its money, because that is an incredibly smooth action. I feel like you don't really need to have experience with an OTF or have particularly strong thumbs to operate this. It is, it's just as easy as pushing it forward. You don't have to get over a hump. There's not a strong kind of threshold that you have to push past. It's just a nice smooth push forward and push backwards, and it comes in and out. Also, really good grip on that switch, which is nice. Also, kind of the last thing we'll look at here is what is going on down here. You'll notice, let me retract the blade here. Whoa, is that the back of the blade? You can see the back of the blade through the butt of the knife. Why does that matter? I would assume they have designed it this way so that when you're cleaning out your knife, you can just flush crud and whatnot straight through. It seems like they were thinking about the long-term use of this knife, experiencing gunk buildup and whatnot. They put the crud cutter in there. They put these holes back here, I would assume, so that you can clean out your knife a little easier. And hey, if you can't get it cleaned out, just go ahead and pop it open, take it apart, clean it, and put it back together. They really thought this through when they were putting this thing together. You can tell that they've heard a lot of complaints over the years about, hey, I don't want to have to send my knife into Microtech every time I want it cleaned. I'd like to be able to just maintain my knife on my own and it seems like they listened and have put together something here that is going to be user-friendly, is going to be really easy to clean if you need to, and I would assume probably not going to gum up as bad, just having an exit there for any kind of crud that's going to get inside the knife. So generally, I'm very impressed. I have one complaint with this knife, and that is the laser engraving. It's not too good. The laser engraving on the handle is just not great. So I don't know if they're all like this or if this one was overlooked a little bit from quality control, but it would be nice if that was a little smoother. It just looks a little bit chewed up around that laser engraving. Having said that, so far, that's the only complaint that I have with this knife. And I think it looks great. It's a really attractive knife. That action is incredible. The blade is, by the way, handle to blade ratio is great. I think they did a really good job making this as compact as possible while putting the biggest blade that they could inside of there, which, of course, I think is great. I hate to see a big, long handle and a short little blade. So they've done a great job with this altogether. I will compare it to a couple other knives that I have. Compare it to a couple other Microtechs anyways. That is the UTX 85. Sorry, I don't have an Ultratech. I somehow don't have an Ultratech. So there it is next to the UTX 85. There it is next to the SOCOM Elite. And I don't know if anybody's a Spyderco fan. There it is next to the Spyderco Shaman. So definitely a big knife, especially for an OTF. It's pretty large. I can get out my wife's pretty little tape measure here. Take a look at length. Okay, we are looking at just about, it's like 4 1/16 on the blade is what I'm seeing. Maybe right at 4, depending on where you hit it on that handle. So 4-inch blade, 5 1/4 inch handle approximately, 5 1/2 if you count the glass breaker. Bringing our total to about 9 1/2. So definitely a handful of a knife, which I love. I just love big knives. So that's pretty much going to sum it up for us. Yeah, I think it's a great knife. I think they need to work on the laser engraving on the handle. But really cool knife, beautifully designed, and I look forward to having this thing in my pocket for a while. All right, we'll check in with you next time.